A Hero's Bark, an inspiring story of bravery, hope, and the unbreakable bond between humans and dogs. The earthquake strikes a peaceful city street. People go about their daily routines, children playing, vendors selling goods, cars honking. Suddenly, the ground trembles violently, buildings shake, cracks split the pavement. A deafening roar fills the air as structures collapse. Chaos erupts. Narrator: no one saw it coming. A powerful earthquake, measuring 7.8 on the Richter scale, struck the city, reducing buildings to rubble in mere seconds. Lives were shattered, families torn apart. But in the heart of the destruction, a hero would rise, on four legs. Cut to Sarah, a young mother, covered in dust, coughing as she pushes away debris. Her eyes widen in horror as she turns toward her apartment building, now a heap of ruins. Sarah, screaming, frantic, "No, my baby's inside. Someone help me." A rescue team arrives, assessing the wreckage. One of the rescuers, James, a trained handler, stands beside his German shepherd, Max. The dog's ears twitch, his nose sniffs the air, sensing something beneath the debris. A race against time. Max barks urgently, pulling at his leash, his nose to the ground. He sniffs along the debris, pacing back and forth, before stopping at a specific spot. He whines and starts scratching at the rubble. James, alert. He's found something. There's a scent here. The rescue team rushes to the spot. They begin digging carefully, removing chunks of concrete and broken furniture. The mother watches, her hands clasped in silent prayer. The tension is unbearable. Sarah, whispering through tears, "Please, please be alive." Suddenly, a faint, muffled cry emerges from the wreckage. The mother gasps, falling to her knees. Max lets out a hopeful bark, wagging his tail slightly, urging the rescuers to keep going. James, encouraging his team, "We're close, keep digging." The dust thickens in the air. The rescue team works swiftly yet cautiously. More debris is removed, revealing a small, dust-covered crib. Inside it, barely visible, is a tiny, trembling hand. The rescue. The rescuers carefully lift the last piece of rubble off the crib. Inside lies a baby girl, barely breathing, covered in dust, but alive. The crowd erupts into gasps. Max whines and licks the baby's fingers gently as if reassuring her. Paramedic, checking the baby's vitals. She's breathing, weak but stable. "We need to get her oxygen, now." Sarah sobs, reaching out as the paramedics carefully lift her baby into their arms. She kisses her child's forehead, tears streaming down her face. Sarah, whispering, overwhelmed, "My baby, my sweet Emily, you're safe." Max wags his tail, nudging Sarah's hand with his nose. She turns to him, her eyes full of gratitude. She kneels beside him, stroking his fur. Sarah, voice shaking, "You saved her. You saved my baby." Max licks her cheek as if to say, "It was my duty." Scene 4. The aftermath. The rescue operations continue throughout the night. Fires are extinguished. Survivors are pulled from the wreckage. Volunteers hand out food and blankets. Amid the devastation, hope shines through in the form of brave men, women, and their canine partners. Later that evening, Sarah sits outside a medical tent, holding baby Emily close. She watches as Max rests beside James, his job done for the day. James, sitting beside her. Max has been in countless rescues, but today was special. He wouldn't stop until he found her. Sarah, smiling, eyes teary. He's more than a rescue dog. He's a guardian angel. She leans down and hugs Max tightly. He responds with a gentle bark, resting his head on her lap. The camera pulls back, showing the broken city slowly coming back to life. people helping one another, hope rekindled amid the ruins. Narrator. In times of despair, heroes emerge, some with badges, some with helmets, and some with wagging tails. Max was more than just a dog. He was a symbol of courage, love, and unwavering loyalty, a true hero in the darkest of times. Final shot. The sun rises over the city. Max sits proudly beside James, looking out at the world he helped save. A true hero, ready for his next mission. Fade to black. Sound of a baby giggling, a dog barking softly, and the distant hum of life continuing. A hero's bark, scene 1. The earthquake strikes. It's late evening. The city skyline is peaceful, lights twinkling in the distance. Then suddenly, a deep, terrifying rumble shakes the ground. Buildings sway, windows shatter, and screams fill the night as an earthquake violently rocks the city. Sirens wail as people rush for safety. Narrator. It happened in the blink of an eye. A powerful earthquake struck, turning homes into ruins and leaving many trapped beneath the rubble. Among them was a helpless baby, separated from her mother in the chaos. Cut to a young mother, Sarah, covered in dust, scrambling frantically over fallen debris. She is screaming, tears streaming down her face as she claws at the wreckage of her collapsed home. Sarah, desperate, crying out, "My baby, please someone help. My baby is in there." Rescue workers arrive at the site, quickly assessing the damage. The air is thick with dust, making it hard to breathe. One worker places a comforting hand on Sarah's shoulder. Rescue worker 1 calm but firm. "Ma'am, we're going to do everything we can, but we need to be careful. The structure could collapse further." Beside the team stands a German shepherd named Max, a highly trained search and rescue dog. His ears perk up as he sniffs the air, sensing something. He tugs at his leash, barking urgently. Scene 2. A dog's instinct, Max pulls his handler forward, sniffing the ground with urgency. His handler, Jason, notices Max's body language and signals to the team. "Jason," to the team, "Max has got something. He's picking up a scent." Max whines and scratches at a specific pile of rubble, his nose pressing against the cracks. His body is tense, his instincts on high alert. The rescue workers quickly move in, carefully clearing away debris where Max is pointing them. Rescue worker 2. "If Max's nose says there's someone there, we trust him. Let's move." They work quickly but carefully, lifting broken wood and concrete, watching for signs of life. Suddenly, a faint, muffled cry is heard beneath the rubble. Sarah, gasping, hands clasped together. "That's her. That's my baby." Max lets out an urgent bark, as if telling them to hurry. The rescue workers increase their pace, their movements still precise but driven by adrenaline. After minutes that feel like hours, a small hand becomes visible beneath the debris. Rescue worker 1. "We found her. She's here." A race against time. They continue digging carefully, revealing the small, dust-covered form of a baby girl, barely breathing. Max lets out a soft whine, stepping closer and sniffing her tiny fingers. His warm breath stirs her, and miraculously, she lets out a tiny cough. Sarah, sobbing. "Oh my God, she's alive." A paramedic rushes in, checking the baby's vitals. The little girl whimpers, then suddenly lets out a loud, piercing cry, strong and clear. The tension in the air breaks as everyone exhales in relief. Paramedic, smiling, "She's breathing. She's going to be okay." Sarah falls to her knees as she takes her baby into her arms, holding her tightly, rocking her back and forth. Tears stream down her face as she whispers words of gratitude. Sarah, looking at Max with awe. "You saved her. You saved my baby." Max wags his tail happily, his tongue hanging out as if he understands the praise. He nudges Sarah gently, sensing her relief and happiness. The aftermath hours. Later, as the rescue efforts continue, the city begins to calm. The worst of the chaos is over, though many homes are destroyed. Families reunite, holding each other close. Max sits beside Jason, watching the scene quietly, his ears flicking at every sound. Narrator. In times of tragedy, heroes emerge. Some wear uniforms, some hold shovels, and some have 4 legs and a heart full of courage. Sarah approaches Jason and Max, still holding her baby girl close. She kneels beside the dog, her eyes filled with gratitude. Sarah, softly stroking Max's fur. "Thank you, Max. You are our angel." Max licks her hand before letting out a proud, happy bark. Jason chuckles, patting Max's head. Jason, he's just doing his job, but I think he knows this one was special. The baby, now awake and alert, giggles as Max licks her tiny fingers. The rescue team, exhausted but victorious, watches with warm smiles. Despite the destruction around them, in this moment, hope shines brighter than